great success, one must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose. To obtain great success, one must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose.
Increase your value, focus on your purpose. Can't tell you anything quite worth this. Women love and value men, the top of the list. He's chasing fish, he got it twisted, think she's chasing dick. Women chase wildlets, my game is powerless. Body solid, teach men to abolish. Chase a woman cause I think that shit is childish. Help you overcome aphasia with this right knowledge. Body like a figure 8, makes you wanna holler. She gave me her number, but yo, I didn't call her. Heart filled with sorrow. Saw her on social media like a simp you follow. Don't want low value women, ties a dark big baller.
To obtain great success, one must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose. To obtain great success, one must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose.
High value men making creditor moves. When your status this high, you're the one they choose. Sexy ladies can't fade me, I never let them play me. They must think I'm crazy. Tell that doc I want your baby. Don't want no beta male because they're too lazy. Slim is acting shady, no ifs, ands, and maybes. I'm driving her a while, he's driving Miss Daisy. Wake her, check and increase your value. Stop chasing old ladies.
One must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose. To obtain great success, one must endure struggle. Increasing my value, that's the reason why I hustle. Been improving all my flaws, becoming a better version. Avoiding all distractions, staying focused on my purpose.
Capitalist society. Someone has to be the rejects. Someone has to be expendable. They made it you. The genocidal rejects. Governmental projects are the genocidal rejects. Innocent boys toting gats. Mothers and girls. So boom, this is Taza Doctrine.
Barakataya, Howard shine. 613 laws, I'm keeping them all till I die. And I pray to the east, with my hands stretched to the sky. Stand up 90 degrees, we can't do no 45. Barakataya, Howard shine. 613 laws, I'm keeping them all till I die. And I pray to the east, with my hands stretched to the sky. Stand up 90 degrees, we can't do no 45.
General Yasha Beam, please put T-Doc at ease. As 90 degrees upright I stand, a grieved man, perpendicular to the son of man. While the police racial profile, the chosen siege lust eaves, as our seeds like weeds grow wild. Son, don't cuff her, I don't wanna bust her. Adultery's your style, not mine. My nefesh is divine, won't hit her with a 9-inch +1. Word life, son, I'm not that type of man. The women that you see on my timelines are only fans. Ho, 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 let the hoes go. Say less, you already know. No polemics, didactic lessons in my flow. Kwam Yasha Allah and raise your cups. Denounce, legalize political corruption. This right knowledge is an eruption of secured party creditors up from sin, aka your social insurance numbers and your TIN, tax identification number. Identify means to make the same. No courage, no heart, if only you had a brain. In this land of odds, weight, that's how they measure gold. Not the weight, but the ounces of the capitalist society. Someone has to be the rejects. Someone has to be expendable. They made it you. Governmental projects are the genocidal rejects.
Everybody's against the so-called black man.
Being oppressed, cursed for breaking the Deuteronomy codes. Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. Read that. Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Read that.
Everybody's against the black man, but everybody wanna be us, man. Cream of the planet. Asiatic.
Our time comes soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone. Our time comes soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone. Shaklack, shaklack, shaklack. Guns are blazing. Bodies are laying every day on ghetto pavements. Girls molested by wicked men that their mothers trust to raise them. My first thought is to grab that thing and erase these abased men. But I realize I can't just kill lives that are products of European enslavement. Now many minds are like Frankenstein that are Willie Lynch related. See, some of us has never escaped it. We gotta do what it takes to break it. You say I hate them because they are rapists. Well, I hate the results of our ancestors being locked to mate in cages. I'm preparing for our engagement, this war against the children of Satan, patiently awaiting on Christ's return for this war of Armageddon. As stated in the 19th chapter of Revelations, our morals are merely disintegrate. We now walk the earth lost in space. My talk and thoughts won't make things safe because the truth often agitate. My destiny within the breath in me is to erase black self-hate. Don't call me a racist because I pinpoint hate and because I love to embrace my race. I belong to a nation that seems to have fallen within the abyss of degeneration since being made slaves in former days by out of the cave Caucasians. Now my people really believe that a fake white Christ is coming back to save them. I see false prophets soul searching in New York subway station. Christ be black like me, so can you actually please tell me why you're all hating? If you research, you will see that this is factual information. Because the truth I speak, you say, tell the docs are racist, I hate us. Damn, you black and Latino people are so amazing. Looks like only Yeshua can come back to save some. Get your mind right, kings. Get your mind right, man. Face this war, get ready for this war. Armageddon, there's a war on blacks, man. Our time comes soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone. Our time comes soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone. I'm far from perfect, but striving to be Christ-like. So perhaps I can make a difference within our thugs' life. Leaders, preachers, and teachers give them false perception that mentally maim. They're drowning in the pool of deception and corruption in these last days. They have no map, plan, and hopelessly cased to ever escape this ghetto maze. Slow down, little homie, pump your brakes. Because too many black men are rushing to early graves. Too many still live in mental caves. Others slip through the cracks, then forget about their race. But I have a master plan straight from the Creator that will lift up the entire nation like an elevator. We're just pawns in the games, the real players hate us. They love white knights, white queens, that's cool. Like a chess game, my people, they study our every move. Use your freedom of speech to teach, they might move on you. If you attempt to spark dark minds with your jewels, I'm not trying to make your thoughts mine, cause that's not cool. But you can't lose with the stuff that I use. I give birth to thoughts that break the curse. In 9 months, these dead minds I unearth. Born again, I teach them to love each other first. This promotes both mental and spiritual elevation. We need to stand up now to unite as a nation. Demand reparations for all the days that they enslaved us. They say you people just need to learn to exercise patience. It's been over 100 years and we're still waiting. He sighs and looks up in disbelief. The commander-in-chief has no love for we. He supposed
chosen to rule the earth justly. But I see death around the corner and hell up in the Harlem, B. Don't go to Ethiopia, can't you see? We got starving children right here on our city streets. This country really don't have no love for us. Is it possible to love whom you cannot trust? Things have to change, it is a must. After what was done to us, we've been beaten and shot for reaching for ID. Pay the police salaries to brutalize and murder me. Every city in America seems to be that the beast mentality is a monopoly. Our time come soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone. Our time come soon. We've been oppressed too long. Taunting me and my people till our lives are gone.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. It is Sabbath, so can we get someone to read something from the Torah? Sent it to give me Yahoo, but you didn't show up on here.
Shabbat Shalom.
Seeing Yahya Bey was in here, but he fell out.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Pulling from the book of Leviticus and chapter 18. Start from the top. Hold on a second. There we go. Book of Leviticus, chapter 18. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahuwah, your Allah, or Lord your God, for those of you who aren't familiar with that term. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahuwah, your Allah. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahuwah. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him and uncover their nakedness. I am Yahuwah. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of the sons of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. Thy nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her. Thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Allah. I am Yahuwah. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not yourselves, defile not you yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And the land is defiled. Therefore, I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither
Did you just stop midway, or was that just me?
Con. Stop midway.
Oh, I mean, I suppose whenever someone is as spectacular as the gentleman that we just had you on the call, I suppose things like that would happen. Shout out to the good brother man, tuning in. I imagine it's the presence of the guy that just tuned into the call, Mr. Magnificent. You know him as the great. You know him as the unsurmountable. You know him as Mr. Eloquence himself, Nefertali. Welcome to the call, brother.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, brother.
Man.
Bye, shalom,
Shabbat shalom, Brother Kadar, Brother Benaiah, T-Doc as a
shalom.
whole. Shabbat shalom, King. Shabbat shalom.
Hey, any of you brothers got anything you would like to bring out scripturally before? Because what I'm going to bring out, as you guys noticed, for the last week, I've been trying to help brothers with child support, remedy after remedy. That really works, by the way. So, if your brothers got anything you want to bring out, I wanted to ask Benaiah, the aunt that you had that passed into the spiritual realm. By the way, I want to bring that out. Someone get the book of Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. You can start reading that verse 1. We're going to show you what happened to the righteous and the unrighteous. Well, we're going to deal with that real quick, man. Because a lot of people, the Taza Doc, he says like every Passover, the Most High take a lot of people out. And so you see, 2 days from the Passover, I already know 3 people that's already done passed out. Benaiah's aunt, this guy that I know, Christopher Cadwell, down in Texas. And I don't know if you guys knew it, but Gully's, his sister passed away not long ago. Say a couple weeks ago. And then, I think it was Jeremiah that just said, someone passed away, that he knew, like his cousin or someone, every Passover, you got to make sure you're right, because you might not get passed over. You got to make sure your spirit's right. And people think I be just saying that, but you're seeing it for yourself, but you're paying more attention to it because it's been made aware. But every Passover, a lot of people don't get passed over, they get taken out. And so, I pray that they're in the right spirit when this happens.
It's the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahuwah.
So this goes out to Christopher Cadwell, Benaiah, Jeremiah's relative, and Gully's the kid, his sister, man. It is my prayer that their souls all went into the hands of the righteous. But I don't know, because I don't know none of those people personally. But I'm urging each and every one of you that's around us, take this more seriously. Stop missing the high holy days. And for someone like Cynthia to think that the Most High is working with her, I don't, I don't know how he be thinking, man. But let me try and stay in the spirit. Go ahead, read out.
And there shall no torment touch them.
So they're not, no torment's going to touch these people if they had a righteous soul, righteous spirit. The scriptures say no torment should touch them. So we're dealing with people's spirits, man. We're dealing with people's soul, man. Nefesh. Ruachs. God.
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
Yeah, in the sight of the unwise. This is how I know when someone is a true believer and when they're not. Because in the sight of the unwise, what do? They start crying. Oh, I can't believe. That's what the dude is doing. He said, oh, man, I miss her so much. I try and send him, it's like 4 a.m. I message him. Everybody wants to reach out to Kahan, man. They don't want to deal with the Kahan until they need something. And they fall back for support. You know why? Because they know I'm not one dude. Despite how many times that they cross me or whatever, I'm not going to be emotional. I'm going to stay in the spirit. You understand? Because he crossed me before too. Matthew Grimes, man. He cursed me out and called me right back. Cursed me out and called me right back. I'm going to let Adonai deal with him, man. He telling me, oh, man, I'm not in the mood. I'm in a bad mood today. He hung up the phone when West was on the phone to bear witness to it again. So I'm going to say this personally, Matthew Grimes. You struck out. Don't call me no more. You struck out, homie. Go ahead,
And their departure is taken for misery.
Yeah, people crying.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction.
So they think they destroyed, like they're done. They going forever. Why are you crying if you really believe in what's written here? God, read on.
But they are in peace.
But then what?
They are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men.
See, they're in the sight of men, they being punished. Ha 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 ha. Tells the doc is dead. I don't want nobody crying at my funeral. Consider it a blessing. Go ahead, read.
Yet is their hope full of immortality.
Yet is their hope full of immortality. Read.
And having been a little chastised.
And having been a little chastised. Father chastised those whom he loved. And if without chastisement, then you're bastards and not sons. Having been a little chastised, God.
They shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahuwah proved them.
Who proved them?
Yahuwah proved them.
Damn, Yahuwah proved them. God.
And found them worthy for himself.
The Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. You ain't got to be proved by no Eve, huh? Yahuwah proved them. The Most High proved them, Nefertali, and found them worthy for himself. God.
As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of, verse 7 now.
Okay.
And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine.
That's talking about the second coming, huh? When Hamashiach and the dead comes back to life, they shall shine.
Come. And run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
But that thing is beautiful. Read on.
They shall judge the nations.
They're going to do what?
Judge the nations.
What is Benai going to do to Nicholas Carefoot?
Judge the nations.
Read on.
And have dominion over the people.
Well, where's the what the Most High? What the Most High say? Yirmiyahu's going to do to Nicholas Carefoot?
And have dominion over the people.
Or he's going to be under you. Guy, read on.
And their master shall reign forever.
You to put a shirt on, man. Put a shirt on. Guy.
And their master shall reign forever.
See that? Now, Hamashiach's going to reign forever. Now, let's see what happens to those is not righteous. You getting to verse 10 yet? And verse 10 is supposed to tell us what's going to happen to those that's not living right.
Come, I'm at verse 9 right now.
Okay.
They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth.
See that?
And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him.
See, if Eve understood the truth, she wouldn't be bad-mouthing her husband. She wouldn't be going around calling herself a priest, a priestess. She wouldn't be ministering to men. She would obey his word, those that believe in him. Okay, read on.
For grace and mercy is to his saints.
No grace and mercy for them. God.
And he hath care for his elect.
Watch this. Watch this. What about the ones that's not righteous? Watch this.
But the ungodly.
But the what?
But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations.
So the worst thing, see, this is what I tell people. Hell is the worst thing that you think of. And you know what you think of, that's going to be your hell. The thing that you hate worse, that's going to be your hell. That's going to be your torment. You understand? And hell is repetition. So it's repeated over again, again, and again. So these preachers could stop lying. If you was wicked on this earth, don't think that your soul is not going into those chambers of hell. Understand that. Go ahead, read on.
Which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahuwah. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable.
All these Eves that wouldn't listen when we was kicking this truth to them, giving them this truth, they're going to be miserable.
Come. And their hope is vain.
Their hope is vain.
Their labors unfruitful.
That all this, oh yeah, I'm this and I'm that. And unfruitful. It's not going to bring you nothing but torment. Read on.
And their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked.
See that? Yeah, these people are not wise, man. It says their wives are foolish, and their children are wicked. A lot of you could be a witness to that, man.
God. Their offspring is cursed.
Yeah, their children are cursed, man.
Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled.
So the Most High said, these people, they wicked. The women that don't have children, they're going to be blessed because the Most High would have afflicted their children. But the one that don't have children that haven't been defiled. Barak or they, God read.
Which have not known the sinful bed.
Yeah, you haven't committed sin. So you know any women like that? Even the virgins, they don't committed sin on this earth.
Come.
Even the virgins, you can't tell them a nothing, a friggin' thing. I don't know about you. I don't want no ugly virgin, man. Why? Go ahead, man. You go ahead and keep that. Stay a virgin. You go it over to General Yashabim or Benaiah. So I don't want no ugly virgin. What? I'm a virgin. You gonna stay a virgin too? You heard what I told you? I want no ugly virgin, huh? Go ahead.
She shall have fruit.
That's why you're a virgin. She haven't figured that out. Damn, how many years is it gonna take you to figure that out? It's just the truth. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. I know. But it's the truth. Most High made you ugly so you could remain a virgin. I know that sounds harsh. She talking about, I'm a virgin. Woman says she's 50 years old. Where Crystal say she's still a virgin? God.
She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. And blessed is the eunuch with his hands hath wrought no iniquity.
That's talking about a man, because the only way he could bring iniquity is with his hands or his mouth, because a eunuch is a man that had his private member removed. His penis been removed.
Nor imagine wicked things against Yahuwah. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith and an inheritance in the temple of Yahuwah, more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection.
So I mean, if your mom was an adulterer, man, God.
And the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out.
You ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Your mom done curse you, man. She done went and laid in a bed with another man when she knew the other man was supposed to be your father.
Damn.
You're gonna be rooted out because of that. Some of you wonder why these bad things happen to you because you're a daughter of adultery. That's why you can't receive this, man. A lot of you can't receive this, man. You're a daughter of adultery. You're a son of a harlot. You're a son of a bitch. I mean, that's the way. That's the modern way to say it, huh?
No,
it sounds funny, but it's. I mean, it's real. You know what I mean?
Come on.
They wonder why he can't get Barak. You wonder why he can't get blessed.
God. Yeah.
So now we're gonna go over to this document, man. I talked to a brother named Jonathan Kendall, and he lost a court case. He had a problem with his SPC documents, and now he's concerned about the wage garnishment. So this comes by way of the foul mouth Kahan. Whether you're dealing with child support, whether you're dealing with some loan, any kind of debt, and they try and go and garnish your wages, your remedy is here. This is your remedy that the foul-mouthed Kahan would enforce. And you could download this on both websites. I believe I put the link in the room earlier. If we could get one of the good brothers to read this, I'll break it down as a read.
Notice demanding employer to cease and desist sending personal property to child support agency unless it can provide proof of a warrant as protected and guaranteed by the Fourth Amendment and provide the law that requires this employer to breach its contract with employee by seizing personal property in exchange for labor as held by the United States Supreme Court decision Coppage versus Kansas, 236 U.S. 1, 1915.
Okay, stop for a second. So the personal property being spoken of here is the currency. That's your property. You gave your sweat, blood, and tears for it sometimes. So they don't have a right to just go and take it without due process. Well, due process means I have a right to face my accuser. Since most people don't understand the contracts, the law, the Most High sent the foul mouth to make it plain, very plain for you. Go ahead, huh?
The wages of every employee is their property protected by the Fourth Amendment. This is an undisputed fact, and any law in violation of this fact is unconstitutional and will never hold up in court, for lower court decisions must be in accordance with the Supreme Court of the United States. Coppage versus Kansas, 236 U.S. 1, 1915.
That part right there is heavy. That part right there is heavy.
Under circumstances, number two, under circumstances, can this employer seize this property and send anywhere without permission by the employee unless employer is served with a warrant under the Fourth Amendment as required by due process of law. Any purported law that does not originate from constitutional due process is a fictional law without validity. Number three, it is prohibited under due process of law and equal protection of law under the Fourth and Fifth Amendments for an employer to accept income or wage garnishments as warrants sent by a commercial debt collector, child support enforcement agency that is not authorized to issue warrants. Number four, a warrant must originate from a court of competent jurisdiction within the judiciary branch of government and not from a state or government agency within the executive branch.
So how are they doing this all of the time? Because you consent. Because you consent. You got that, Andre? Because you consent.
Branch of government, which is clear violation of the separation of powers doctrine. Number five, whereby the alleged garnishment orders are incomplete, written instruments or forgeries and cannot under any circumstance deprive employee, a man, a living, breathing soul, a creation with endowed rights from his creator, an American, upper and lowercase, inalienable rights to property as protected by the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights. Number six, it is the United States Supreme Court who stated The contract between employer and employee is that of personal employment by which labor and other services are exchanged for money or other forms of property. Kopich versus Kansas, 236 U.S.
So there's a
1.
case law that proved that fiat becomes your property. Becomes your property. Supreme Court case. It's all on how you address it, Nefertali. It's all on how you address it.
Number 7, employer cannot withhold wages by denying employee equal protection of the law under the Fifth Amendment. Number 8, employer cannot deny due process of law by seizing and sending property without a warrant under Fourth Amendment. Any purported law that does not originate from constitutional due process is a fictional law without validity.
Now, does anyone not get what I'm talking about here? Property? The fiat currency that they call money becomes your property. It's just like someone saying, hey, I'm going to search your home and they don't have a warrant. You can't take my property without a warrant. If so, it's under threat, duress, and coercion. Go ahead,
Con. Number 9. Therefore, if the anticipated response from this employer will likely be, we are sorry to inform you that the law requires that we send a portion of your wages in response to court order. There are no laws or court orders that can deny a constitutional amendment requiring a warrant to seize property. Therefore, if this employer is complying with an unconstitutional law, purported law or presumption, it does so with the guarantee.
Next page, y'all.
With the guarantee that a trespass upon rights under 18 U.S.C. 242 and 42 U.S.C. sections 1983 and 1986 that will be brought in a court of competent jurisdiction demanding damages from this employer for the continued acts of seizing personal property by the intentional act of denying protection under the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, equal protection of law, requiring this employer to take corrective action against the unconstitutional deprivation of rights and property by forged instruments alleging to be warrants from a commercial debt collection agency.
1 second. Let me give him that 18, the deprivation of rights on the color of law, even though I've given it to him before. Deprivation of rights on the color of law. 18 U.S.C. subsection 242, deprivation of rights under cover of law. Whoever under color of law, any statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, penalties on account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color, race, then are prescribed for the punishment of citizens shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for not more than 1 year or both. That's their consequences. That's 18 U.S.C. 242. Then, 42 U.S.C. 1983 also has a similar punishment for civil actions for deprivation of rights. 42 U.S.C. 1983. See that? 42 U.S.C. 1983, civil actions for deprivation of rights. So there you go, folks. I'll go back to this document. Share this screen. All right.
That a trespass upon rights under 18 USC 242 and 42 USC 1983 and 1986 that will be brought in a court of competent jurisdiction demanding damages from this employer for the continued acts of seizing personal property by the intentional act of denying protection under the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, equal protection of law, requiring this employer to take corrective action against the unconstitutional deprivation of rights and property by forged instruments alleging to be warrants from a commercial debt collection agency after being commanded by the owner of the personal property, who is the owner of this personal property, not the employer. Number 10, let's be clear that a contract between employer and employee in exchange for labor results in pay of money that becomes the personal property of the laborer, or employee, whereby the notice to cease depriving property and sending to a third party legal entity is unlawful. Number 11, a man, your name, the owner of this property, who is standing upon the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution, is hereby commanding the employer to cease seizing property without a warrant as protected by the Fourth Amendment, a protection of inalienable rights against the deprivation of property without due process and without the equal protection of law. The Supreme Court of the United States, Kopich versus Kansas, 236 U.S. 1, 1915, defines labor in exchange for employment is personal property, whereby employer is forbidden to enter into contract with child support agency by sending employees personal property, for it is not the employer's property to honor a contract to send anywhere without consent by employee. Chief among such contracts is that of personal employment, by which labor and other services are exchanged for money or other forms of property. Kopich versus Kansas, 236 U.S. 1, 1915. Notice to employer, name of employer, from a man, a living, breathing soul, a creation with endowed rights from his creator, an American, your name, with inalienable rights, protected by the United States Constitution. Bill of Rights requires the name of the employer to cease the act of withholding wages and sending to child support enforcement organization. Add name of the child support agency on withholding order. For this wage garnishment document is not a warrant issued by a court of competent jurisdiction within judicial branch, which should be the first indication to this employer that the wage garnishment is null and void for being a violation of the separation of powers doctrine and not a warrant as required by the Fourth Amendment. Next page, Doc. For property can only be seized by a warrant signed by a judge based upon probable cause and sworn affirmation as required by the Fourth Amendment Bill of Rights, whereby any employer policy in violation of the equal protection of rights in the Fifth Amendment is an intentional act of discrimination and an act of trespass upon rights. Definitions from etymology.com. 1. Warrant, defender, surety, pledge, justifying evidence. 2. Wages, salary paid to a provider of service. 3. Property, possession, thing owned. Number 4. Garnishee, one who owes debts and has been warned legally to not pay money or transfer property which has been awarded to his creditor. 1620s from garnish, which is a verb in the legal sense. Number 5, policy, way of management, late 14th century policy, study or practice of government, good government, from Old French policy, political organization, civil administration, from late Latin politia, the state, civil administration. Number 6, fraudulent, cheating, deceitful, dishonest, from stem of fros, deceit. Declaration of laws requiring the property of a man, such and such the name, to remain free from seizure, unless a warrant signed by a judge of competent jurisdiction has been served upon this employer, as protected by the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, 4th and 5th Amendments. Upper and lowercase name is an American, a living, breathing, flesh and blood man with inalienable rights that are protected by the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, whose wages are from the fruit of his labor by employment for this employer. Please understand that I am not unhappy being employed by this employer. I am unhappy with the employer's policy of accepting and honoring wage garnishment as a warrant that is not in accordance with the 4th Amendment and is clearly not a court order from a court of competent jurisdiction. That's page up. Why would a court of competent jurisdiction not send a court order, writ of garnishment, directly to the employer of a man or woman, ordering the employer to send wages to child support enforcement agency to satisfy a commercial debt? Answer: administrative procedures are a method by which support orders are made and enforced by an executive agency rather than by courts and judges. The Child Support Enforcement Agency within the executive branch of government then sends an administrative order, common term income deduction, wage deduction, orders illegally ordering the employer to seize wages, called wage garnishment. An income deduction / wage deduction order on its face is clearly without judicial signature. This act is fundamentally adverse to due process of law and should be an indication that income wage garnishments are not legally enforceable and must be ignored. Any purported law that does not originate from constitutional due process is a fictional law without validity. Employer must provide equal protection of law by acknowledgement of constitutionally protected guarantees for all men and women employed and receiving wages in exchange for labor. The Supreme Court of the United States, Copich versus Kansas, 236 U.S. 1, 1915. Number 1, Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Number 2, Amendment 5.
So the reason that this is powerful is because since that's considered your property, no one takes this stance. I mean, you just allow it to happen to you. No one takes a stance against the employer for allowing this to happen, because you didn't know it. You're not realizing, hey, that's considered to be my property. So how can they just come and seize my property without a warrant to do so? Because you consent. That's why. Because you consent. Go ahead. You're not learning this anywhere else on the web, man. Nowhere else.
Facts. Amendment 5. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
So the real power in this, that any law, any statute, any code, act
that goes against the supremacy clause in the Constitution that states any law that goes against this is not law, according to the supremacy clause. So if it conflicts with the Constitution, it's not law, it's void. That's how you enforce it. That's how you enforce it. Go ahead.
Please read common child support glossary terms to, quote, corroborate proof that wage garnishment orders do not originate from a court of competent jurisdiction, a violation of due process of law. Glossary of common child support terms, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families, Office of Child Support Enforcement.
This is how you get them. You use their own statutes, codes, acts, and so on against them. What are they going to say? You wrote it. I didn't write it. I'm just showing you where it is. Miss Social Worker. Now give me my money back. Go ahead.
Number 1, Administrative Procedure, page 6. A method by which support orders are made and enforced by an executive agency rather than by courts and judges. Number 2, Order/Notice to Withhold Child Support, page 20. The form to be used by all states that standardizes the information used to request income withholding for child support by an employer from a non-custodial parent's earnings.
Okay, so some of you may say, well, Don, why is he teaching men how to not pay child support? I'm not teaching them that. I'm teaching you to stay the hell out of those men's accounts, making them live in such a hardship they can't even afford a place to live. And then the robe, he doesn't give a darn. Just say, hey, go and get another job. Well, I got 2 already. Go and get another one. He doesn't care. It's all a business. The court's a bank. It's not about that son or daughter. It's about their pension and retirement. It's about commerce. And once you wake up and embrace that, you'll see the world differently. Take off those rose-colored glasses. Look at what the Jays are doing. The Jays has bombed the G Strip into the Stone Ages. So people are finally waking up to what the Jays are doing. Yeah. People are finally waking up what the Jays are doing. But what I really hope people are watching is that Donnie T is for the Jays. If you listen to Donnie T talk, Donnie T's for the Jays. Can't trust either side, man. But, you know, I think it would be better to have Donnie Donnie T in there officially. I actually don't believe that the legend of the Sleepy Hollow Joey is really running it. I believe Donnie T's still running it. Everything's a facade. But Donnie T is always giving big ups to the Jays. I don't know. Maybe he liked the hats. Go ahead, huh?
Number 3, Judgment. Page 16, the official decision or finding of a judge or administrative agency hearing officer upon the respective rights and claims of the parties to an action, also known as a decree or order. It may include the findings of fact and conclusions of law. Number 4, income withholding, page 15. An order that requires an employer to withhold support from a non-custodial parent's wages and transfer that withholding to the appropriate agency, the centralized collection unit, the state disbursement unit, or tribal child support.
You know what? Let me say this. You know what the problem is what Jerome Bourne told me the other day. He said, man, Kahan, I don't think these people realize the kind of information that you be giving them for free. And they still won't. They give a $5 donation, $2 donation. Man, I can't even wash my Raptor with $5. But they want, I'm not Chris Hauser, man. I'm not Chris Hauser. You don't see a leaky roof above my head, and I'm telling you such and such works. People get real remedy over here, but I'm telling you it's quid pro quo. Give back. It shouldn't be the same people all of the time. Give back. We got 4,955 people in the core. No donations. Go ahead, up.
Con. What number I was on?
Give me Yahoo. You kind of quiet today, up. And I'm not sure what you up to, up, but it's not good. You came on late, and you haven't said one thing. Go ahead, up.
Con. Number 4, income withholding, page 14, page 15, Slakia. An order that requires an employer to withhold support from a non-custodial parent's wages and transfer that withholding to the appropriate agency, the centralized collection unit, the state disbursement unit, or a tribal child support agency, sometimes referred to as a wage withholding or garnishment. Number 5, direct income withholding, page 15, a procedure whereby an income withholding order from one state can be sent directly to the non-custodial parent's employer in another state.
They do this all the
without
time.
the need.
And you know what? You sit around and you allow it happen. She in a different state. And they violating all type of statutes, and they come and they garnish your wage. And you say, oh man, they garnish my wage. You don't try and do anything to protect yourself, man. Well, here it is. What are you gonna do now? Go ahead, huh?
Without the need to use the child support agency or court system in the non-custodial parent state, completely unconstitutional and deprivation of due process of law.
All you have to do is contest it, man. But it goes unrebutted. You know, you complain to the Eve. You complain to the Robert. This is not right. You get into an argument instead of giving you a remedy. Well, I'm giving you the remedy right here.
Number 6, immediate wage withholding, page 15, an automatic deduction from income that starts as soon as the order for support is established and an income withholding order / notice is received and implemented by the non-custodial parent's employer. Number 7, quasi-judicial, page 23, a framework or procedure under the auspices of a state's judicial branch or tribal court in which court officers other than judges process, establish, enforce, and modify support orders, usually subject to judicial review. The court officer may be a magistrate, a clerk, a master, or a court examiner. He or she may or may not have to be an attorney, depending on the state or tribal law. Number 8, Slakia. Wage withholding, page 27, a procedure by which scheduled deductions are automatically made from wages or income to pay an obligation, such as child support. The provision dictates that an employer must withhold support from a non-custodial parent's wages. And transfer that withholding to the appropriate agency, the centralized collection unit or state disbursement unit, also known as income withholding. Number 9, wage attachment, page 26, an involuntary transfer of a portion of an employee's wage payment to satisfy a debt. In some states, this term is used interchangeably with wage or income withholding. In other states, there are distinctions between an attachment and withholding. The most common terms used are wage or income withholding. Gives you a website there. Okay, presumptions are not facts nor evidence and cannot be used to avoid procedural constitutional due process of law. Any purported law that does not originate from constitutional due process is a fictional law without validity. 1. The wage garnishment arises from the presumption that a man, your name, owes a debt for child support without showing actual physical evidence to support the claim that a debt is owed. Next page, y'all. Debt is owed for child support. This wage garnishment relies on the presumption that a court order from a court of competent jurisdiction ordered child support debt repayment, whereby without physical proof of a court order, this is not accurate and completely false. Number 3, I do not owe a commercial debt for child support and object to wage garnishments because they are without facts or evidence and do not comply with my inalienable rights protected by the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights. 4, support orders are not legally enforceable and are issued in violation of due process of law, depriving trial by jury under the 7th Amendment, and issued without judicial signature and entry with the clerk of county clerk's office. They are null and void. Please refer to the 7th Amendment and 28 U.S.C. Section 1691 to corroborate this assertion of rights. I implore this organization to examine this wage garnishment and reconsider its policy of accepting incomplete written instruments on its face as true and accurate, and perform due diligence in demanding proof the employee owes a commercial debt of child support and that the wage garnishment documents, next page, are from a court of competent jurisdiction. There are many small business owners who do not comply with wage garnishment orders without being fined or penalized. Therefore, there are no legal ramifications by disregarding wage garnishment notice documents, and throwing it in the trash can where it belongs, because these illegal documents are causing irreversible harm and damage. The wage garnishments are incomplete written instruments without legal force because they were made in violation of the very basic due process of law, protections under the 4th, 5th, 7th, and 9th Amendments. The Supreme Court of the United States has held any order or judgment from a court or administrative proceeding made in violation of due process of law or by an unconstitutional law is null and void. This employer, beyond the rate of pay and work rules and policies during working hours, cannot withhold wages to send to a child support enforcement agency. This employer, by honoring an incomplete written document that on its face is not issued by a court of competent jurisdiction within the judicial branch of government and is an incomplete written instrument, by it being without a judicial signature by judge and clerk of court. Next page, clerk of the court. In the wage garnishment or income withholding document, there is a box requiring the name of the issuing judicial officer, and there may be a name in the box of the judicial officer issuing, but in most instances, it is either blank or it's the child support enforcement agency or a representative, which is not a judicial officer. Therefore, incomplete written instrument, also known as a forgery under criminal definitions, pursuant to due process of law, unless there is a judge or clerk's signature, deputy clerks and lawyers are not authorized to issue writs under 28 U.S.C. Section 1691. It is neither accurate nor legally enforceable. Therefore, this employer cannot, under no circumstances, be penalized nor fined. When this organization pays its employees wages in exchange for labor, the wages immediately become the property of the American wage earner. An example of the degree of difficulty in levying wages can be found in IRS Code 6331A, where only the Secretary of Treasury is authorized to issue levies for taxes. which has been found to mean only the Secretary of Treasury is authorized to issue a levy for wages. Therefore, if the Secretary of Treasury is required by law to issue a tax levy on wages, then how can a wage garnishment be issued by a child support enforcement agency within the executive branch of government without any judicial signature or clerk stamp from the court of issuance as stated in section 303B1A of 15 USC section 1671. The Federal Wage Garnishment Law, 15 USC 1671, 302 definitions. For the purposes of this title, A, the term earnings means compensation paid or payable for personal services, whether denominated as wages, salary, commission, bonus, or otherwise, and includes periodic payments pursuant to a pension or retirement program. B, the term disposable earnings means that part of the earnings of any individual remaining after the deduction from those earnings of any amounts required by law to be withheld. C, the term garnishment means any legal or equitable procedure through which the earnings of any individual are required to be withheld for payment of any debt. 303, restrictions on garnishment. That page. B1. The restrictions of Section A do not apply in the case of A, any order for the support of any person issued by a court of competent jurisdiction or in accordance with an administrative procedure which is established by state law, which affords substantial due process, and which is subject to judicial review. This phrase requires administrative procedure without judicial review is invalid and without legal force. Factually, the wage earner is a human being, man or woman, who has inalienable rights protected by the United States Constitution Bill of Rights. What this means is wages are property, and property is a fundamental right protected by the 4th, 5th, and 7th Amendment. Child support income or wage withholding orders / notices are not legally enforceable and violate very basic property protections provided in the Bill of Rights, whereby this company, by honoring an incomplete written instrument called income or wage garnishment for child support debts, is unwittingly violating a man, such that whatever the name is, property rights, also referred to as civil rights. Please, before honoring any wage or income garnishment, validate by demanding a true copy of a court order for support affixed with judicial signature as required by 28 USC 1691, section 303 B1A. This company, by acceptance of this notice, is at this moment noticed by a man, upper and lowercase name, that child support, wage, or income withholdings are unlawful and must immediately cease for the following reasons. 1. Income or wage garnishment is without due process of law by a judgment rendered without a trial by jury as required by the 7th Amendment. 2. Income or wage garnishments is without due process of law, for it is not a warrant issued by a court of competent jurisdiction as required by the 4th Amendment. Income or wage garnishment is without due process of law by not being signed by a judicial actor and not issued by a court of competent jurisdiction. Pursuant to 28 USC section 1691, seal and testee of process requires all writs coming from a court within the United States must be signed by a clerk of court and be advised deputy clerks do not qualify as a judicial signature. 4. Income and wage garnishment must be accompanied by a court judgment rendered by due process of law and required by law 15 USC section 1671 303 B1A Any order for the support of any person issued by a court of competent jurisdiction or in accordance with an administrative procedure which is established by state law, which affords substantial due process of law. Next page, which affords substantial due process and which is subject to judicial review. 5. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families of Child Support Enforcement, Glossary of Common Child Support Terms explains in plain English, without room for interpretation, that support orders are not made in a court of competent jurisdiction, but made by an executive agency, which any first-year law student will recognize as a blatant violation of separation of powers doctrine, whereby an executive branch agency is prohibited from issuing warrants under the Fourth Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Administrative procedure, a method by which support orders are made and enforced by an executive agency rather than by courts and judges. Page 6 of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families and of Child Support Enforcement, Glossary, Common Child Support Terms.
What happened to the bean?
Number 6. Income and wage garnishment is without proof of validation of debt, whereby this company is depriving wages by honoring hearsay without proof of a court judgment from a court of competent jurisdiction that is causing serious financial harm to its employee, a man, upper and lowercase name, who cannot meet his or her financial obligations. Income and wage garnishments rely heavily upon presumptions, and the receivers of these garnishments requests do not validate these presumptions, whereby presumptions cannot be confused with physical evidence, and a man, upper and lowercase name, is respectfully demanding physical evidence of a court order from a court of competent jurisdiction ordering the wage or income withholding of a man, upper and lowercase name, motives for aggressive wage or income withholding orders. If the wage or income withholding order was not legal, then why would the Child Support Commercial Debt Collection Organization risk sending illegal, incomplete written instruments? The answer is simple. Wage garnishment notices are based upon presumptions that rarely get rebutted by the employer, and the employer sends the wages without performing basic due diligence as is required under equal protection of law. Under the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, the employer is required by law to ensure the protection of employees' rights under the United States Constitution Bill of Rights and be observed as guaranteed by the employer's policies. Motives for wage garnishment withholdings are for federal child support enforcement incentive funds under 42 USC Section 658A, Title 4D, paid to states at 66% for every dollar collected. The motive of or incentive for wage and income withholding is due to states of the United States having become reliant upon federal funds for child support commercial debt collection, called Title 4D funds under 42 USC Section 658A, which can be 66% for every dollar collected. These funds are responsible for helping to balance state budgets, but it comes at the expense of an innocent man who does not owe any debts, but is presumed to owe debts because based on a legal person in legis, a straw man, an all caps name spelled, put your straw man name here, which is similar to the real living, breathing, flesh and blood man with creator, endowed rights, natural law, upper and lowercase name. Presumptions are not facts and stand as facts until rebutted. Consider this notice as a man, upper and lowercase name, rebuttal to the presumption that a debt is owed for an alleged child support debt. These Title 4D funds are for state budgets. For these federal incentive funds under Title 4D can be used by the state to help balance its state budgets. The state can utilize Title 4D funds for any purpose, whereby aggressive collection practices are employed, and as in my matter, due process of law was deprived by a commercial debt collection agency issuing its version of a warrant when it is not authorized under the basic protections provided by the Fourth Amendment. Consider everyday payday in the United States of America, where wages are deducted, honoring these incomplete written instruments and sent to state child support debt collection agencies, where 66% of these funds are awarded to the states collecting these wages. We are looking at billions of federal funds paid to the state collecting these wages and income. This is an incentive or motive and reason for very aggressive collection practices where mistakes are made all the time, causing severe financial harm. Unlawful wage and income withholdings can only be successful if the receivers do not demand proof to ensure wage garnishments are legal and constitutional. These illegal commercial debt collection practices can only be achieved if the receivers of these wage and income withholdings do not require proof or question the legal authenticity of the documents by calling for evidence of an order from a court of competent jurisdiction. Many employers are financially compensated for aiding in wage garnishments for child support under 42 USC 666 B6 I1. The people sending these documents demand that you accept the wage garnishments on its face, but this is entirely adverse to a man, upper and lower case, protected inalienable rights by the Constitution, by the United States Constitution and Bill of Rights. There are no legal ramifications or penalties if these wage and incomplete written instruments are thrown in the trash where they belong. Lastly, I do not wish to anger nor insult any member of this organization.
Hey, what Denzel say? Hey, remember that movie Glory? What did Denzel say when they gave the black soldiers the checks? You ever see that, Jared? Him and Yahoo? He gave the black soldiers the checks that was way smaller than the Edomites. Denzel said, tear it up! Tear it up! I don't remember that in the movie Glory.
I ain't see that one.
The blue suits. Let me see Glory. That's what David always come on singing about. That song he be saying, "Oh my Lord, Lord."
I ain't see that whole movie. I only seen that portion that you put on.
Yeah, that's from that movie Glory, man. Yeah, that was a true story. The 54th, man. Yeah. All right, got it up.
There are no legal ramifications or penalties if these wage and incomplete written instruments are thrown in the trash where they belong. Lastly, I do not wish to anger nor insult any member of this great organization, and I enjoy working here. But I am being harmed by the policy of accepting a wage or income garnishment on its face. On its face, this document is without a judge's signature as required on all warrants seizing property by the Fourth Amendment. I wish for the employer to respect my inalienable rights and equal protection of the law and investigate these facts. And if there is but a 1% chance of doubt, the wage or income withholding order is unconstitutional, inaccurate, or without legal force, then it is the employer responsibility to cease honoring wage or income garnishments until it has proven 100% constitutional, correct, and a warrant under the Fourth Amendment. All rights reserved, non-waived. Sui juris, a man, upper and lower case, an American, secure party / creditor / holder in due course, address, city, state, zip, code in brackets.
Documents available online on the website for those who desire it.
Come on.
You mean Yahoo? How did that court session turn out yesterday? Or was the day before?
So, according to the magistrate, it was the day before, I think, a couple days ago. But according to the magistrate, right, man, they trying to say that it's a criminal case, man, and they're claiming that I don't have the same recourses available as I would in a civil case. I was contemplating possibly, filing a motion to reconsider, because it can't be a criminal case because there's no corpus delicti, man. The original charge, it was a traffic case, man, a traffic charge, man. And they're trying to say that under the authority that I was claiming, that same recourse isn't available in a so-called criminal case, man.
Hmm.
Quasi-criminal case anyway, man.
Right. Drop the link in the room, see if anyone have anything, man. A lot of you out there dealing with this child support. Not a good thing. It can ruin your life. It often does. I'm not advocating don't take care of your sons and daughters, but don't be taken advantage of either. Kahan tell the doc, a spokesman for men and women that love them, but there's still any of those in existence. So again, seminar and Passover is coming up very quickly. I see a couple more people paid, but a lot of the T-Doc members haven't. Get your payments in now. See, Yaya Bay paid for the Passover, but not the seminar. They've been doing that. I just sent the link again out to the website for the seminar. But if you haven't gotten the fiat in for the Passover, let's get it in soon. It's next weekend. You're only a few days away. I would say about 6 days now. Yeah. See, Wake Up Jacob's in the building. Anyone else have anything? Benaiah said he had to go and pick up his family from an hour away or something like that. It's the Shabbat, so this is the day that people, they generally take to do all of their work, totally in opposition to what the Most High says. And one day that they supposed to be resting, everything in their house supposed to be resting, is the busiest day for them. Busiest day for them. They go to the IHOP and Denny's on Sundays after they come from church, and then they rest. Yeah, I got to get ready for Monday. Totally in opposition, man, to what the Most High say, man. Satan got you in his hip pocket, man. All right. Most High's taking people out, man. Just as I said he would, man. Pray that you guys, everybody stand in the spirit. It's Passover. Last year was Stefan. It's been what? Probably almost a year since that guy passed. I can recall the last text message I got him from him. I think it was in April. When I looked at my old phone, somewhere in April of last year. I never guessed that guy. One of the last texts that I received from that guy, he was asking for Richard Birch's number. I never guessed that he was on that type of time, for real. Never guessed that. Never know what people are thinking, man. Just never know. None of you brothers have anything, I guess I'm gonna sign off. Most high willing, man. We got 1,255 people on. Ain't nobody said anything in the chat room.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, I was listening. I'm like, man, I feel like some of these viewers is like bots, man. Like we had like almost 5,000 at one point, and it's only like 20, 30 likes, man. I'm like, okay, it's not uncommon for the like count, everybody watching and not like the video, but I mean, it should be at least a couple hundred likes or something.
Well, one of the
Kahan fell out the room for a second, man. But yeah, man.
One of the reasons
like
that
it was
Twitch
a lot of
got to this screen right here, because people was having a problem giving likes. The deauthorized representative told me the like button wasn't there anymore. It was just 3 little dots. When I was shooting in the other, so people they can't find the like button, because I had people telling me the like button wasn't there, but it was really there, but they couldn't find it because you had to click on 3 little dots and then get the like button.
YouTube playing around, man.
I don't know. Just let it do what it do, man. The message is getting out. That's what I know. The message is getting out. Yeah, it's like what 94,000, something like that now, man.
Yep, they got to send that plaque soon.
I don't know what that, I don't know what that's gonna do, but did the message get out? Yeah, we're getting up there. Yeah, 94,178. So you got probably a couple thousand people this week. A little more. Yeah. But I will urge everyone to get their payments in if you're coming to the seminar. And I don't know what's up with Yahya. I bet he was on here, but then he went off. Saw him in the background right before we started. He was on here, then he fell. I don't know. It was Nari. NARI sent a donation for $100. What is that for? Nori Wen. Oh, that's the same person that sent that for the seminar. Guess that the donation for the Passover is supposed to be 175. Okay. Yeah, I remember they paid for the Passover. Hey, Yirmiyahu, this is not opening up. The Airbnb, what's going on with that?
Well, we don't have any new developments since the other day when we went live and I talked to the general. I think it was like Tuesday when we had that live. Usually do Bible studies on Tuesday, but I talked to the general, and yeah, we was looking into some venues, man, but we don't have anything like solidified, man. So honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like your guess is as good as mine, man. We don't have anything solidified, as far as everybody that's paying. It's like everybody's still getting their donations in just to come to the Passover and the seminar, man. So yeah,
It's not good, huh? Especially when you know it like a year out. I know so-called inflation and everything's high, man, but yo, I'm still waiting on Nefertiti the Great to pay. Come on. None of his people, I hope they don't think they got to do a walk-in, man. The guy did the last time. I gave him a free pass. The guy that was with Nefertiti. He won't get that pass this time, man. Tired of coming out of pocket, man. Eric White still, if he's coming to seminar, he still needs to pay for that. That man hasn't been picking up his phone, man. Called him this morning, he didn't answer. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see what's what with that, man.
yeah. The only when I talked to the general, the only like paying people that I had down was Kadar, General, Benaya, myself, Theodore, and then I talked to Fernando. He said he wanted to put on for that as well. And that was pretty much it.
From Fernando, I pretty much had to talk him into coming, huh? Because initially Fernando had said he wasn't coming, man. This is one of the most important high holy days, man. I would highly urge him to come. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See how people falling out, man. All these people are dying. Wow. Yeah, man, you got less than a week and these people, wow. No, man. That guy Theodore Men's, I thought if he'll show up, whether he does or not, it's on him. So as long as he get that fiat back to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like he been moving, yeah.
Still ain't talk to him up.
Nah. Nope. Just want the fiat back. That's it. Let him do what he do. That blue vest says it all. Come on. All right, I guess I'm gonna say shalom, man. Everybody be safe.